Hello, everybody. We gotta talk. So this is an experimental show. I've long liked the idea of doing a call-in show. I've done it a little bit on WBLQ a few years ago in the Westerly, Rhode Island area, and I realized that with StreamYard, I may have the technology together to do something a little bit interactive with people. So my content, I've been doing a lot of video content, a lot of written content, a lot of different things, and what I'm finding is because of the nature of the different algorithms and whatnot, it's difficult without a marketing team, budget, all the rest to actually get an audience. Even when people want to see me, they don't know where to find me, or they don't have time to watch the videos when they happen to come across. So I came up with this idea of let's do this every week, every Friday at 1 p.m., same time, same place. I will share it out to these 6 different StreamYard locations. You may be watching this on YouTube. I sent it out by email. You may be watching on my Facebook page. You may be watching it on any number of Facebook groups. It's being simulcast too. The concept is, and I'm going to tighten this up a bit. I may improve the technology as a different platform. But I just wanted to kind of test it out and see if people want to engage with it, want to help, want to be part of it, and if they would, if they'll find it interesting. Most of my content I've been sharing has been kind of delicate, gentle, easygoing sort of business content, coaching content. What's going on in the world and how does it apply to what you should be doing with your life and your business and blah, blah, blah. And it's been a delicate situation because, we live in a world where saying, I don't like Nazis is a political statement, right? You can say, I don't like Nazis, and some people be like, whoa, that's a pretty political, that's pretty out there. I'm not sure if you want to be going that far, which has been crazy because it wasn't clear that, there's a definite right and wrong side until this week. Now it's pretty clear. And I don't mean Republicans and Democrats. Republicans are a party that has some good things and some bad things going on. Democrats are a party that has some good things and some bad things going on. Trump is a traitor, very simply. And so that now makes it very clear that, you can be a Republican, we're cool. You can be a Democrat, we're cool. We can agree, disagree. As long as we agree, like America is great, not necessarily everything it does is great, but the concept of America, the big idea is good. The idea of freedom, liberty, pursuit of happiness. If we can agree on that, everyone should have an opportunity to succeed. Everyone should be treated equally. The poor should be taken care of. The rich should pay their share. I think we can all agree on those things. It's then how? Well, should it be done with taxes on the rich? Should it be done with sales taxes? Should it be done with voluntary contributions? Should it be done with charities, et cetera, et cetera? That we can argue about and politely disagree on how that works. But you can't disagree on how elections, the rules for the election were the rule. We can disagree on how the election should run in 2020. We can disagree on how the election should run in 2024 if we should have an electoral college. But we can't disagree on what happened in November 2020. That election's over. There is a process to adjudicate how that went. The process was completed. You may like how it turned out. You may not. You may like how it went. You may not. Now you accept the way it went. And if you want to change the rules later, we can now talk about that. What you cannot do is stand up and tell your followers to go to the Capitol and tell their representatives to change things. That's not how this works. That's called an insurrection, arguably a coup. It was so ham-fistedly executed that I wouldn't necessarily call it a coup, but it was certainly an attempted coup, just a really poorly done one. So that's kind of how I'm introducing this. I kind of feel more comfortable to speak on certain topics now that I feel like there's things I can be like, yeah, that's definitely wrong. And if you don't believe it, I don't know what to say to you. So some interesting things in the news that you may or not have heard about. So some of you may have seen that there are, people claiming that it wasn't actually Trump's followers. It was Antifa who was raiding the Capitol, which is interesting because the people who were there Many of them said their names on camera, streamed their own live videos to their own streams, and said who they were and why they were there. There's no question about it. There's a Washington Times story. For those who are not familiar, the Washington Times is not the Washington Post. The Washington Times is a radical conservative, a highly slanted platform. It's not a legitimate news source by any stretch of the imagination. They had an article that said that an unnamed source said that there was information proving that two of the people there through facial recognition were unnamed Antifa members from Philadelphia. Now, before they retracted it, which they have since retracted that article, before they retracted it, an unnamed source identified two unnamed Antifa members. Antifa doesn't have members. It's not an organization. But unnamed people, you'd think they'd attach names to it, but of course they couldn't because it wasn't real. And the real names of the people in the picture was something else. And they were very clearly. So what's interesting, someone pointed out the fact that these people who believe they are patriots storming the Capitol, and when you storm the Capitol, you should really expect that there is a decent chance you leave there in a body bag, right? You're invading the capital of the United States. It's pretty likely the cops are going to come out shooting. They didn't. That's another question of how that happened, but they could have. So these people who think that they are patriots and think that they are leading this revolution risk their lives, will lose their freedom, presumably, because it's very clear who they were and what they were doing. They will likely go to jail for a very long time. And then people on their own side are saying, oh, no, they're not with us. No, that's not our people. I don't know who they are. Wow, that sucks. So that's, I feel like Wednesday kind of changed things, and I'm going to speak kind of more openly and share these ideas. And, if I offend you, I'd like to hear about it. I want you to call in. So I'm going to try an experiment here. I've got my phone, right? And I'm going to put my phone number up on the screen. Let me take this off. Do not disturb. That would help. Put my phone number up on the screen. And if you would like to call in and have a conversation live on the air, looks like we have 5 people listening. So it's just a national television. You're not going to be seen by millions. But if you want to have a conversation live on the air, I do not know how well it will work. I do not know how well the speaker microphone will pick up the speaker, and I haven't figured out a way to link the phone directly into the feed yet, because this is an idea I came up with this morning, and this is the trial. But if you do want to call in and talk about anything I talk about, I'd be happy to have you on here. And I don't have a producer, so I'm just going to answer the phone, say hello, and you're going to be live. So hopefully you don't just start swearing. If you do, I'm going to hang up. If you've got some malarkey to share, then we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. And if you've got some reasonable conversation to have, I look forward to having those, and hopefully that's what we're going to get. So there is, okay, good. I typed my phone number right. So if you want to call in, that is the number that will make this phone ring. That'll then make me, oops, that wasn't supposed to pop up. That will then make me hit the button and put it up here to the microphone, and then we'll be talking live. Other things that are going on. COVID 2021. So the vaccine is here and everything's better, right? No, sorry. Viruses do this crazy thing called mutating. Viruses love to mutate. They're not very genetically stable. They undergo massive replication that leads to mutations. They're also very simple protein structures, which also leads to mutations. And the ones that are, it's survival of the fittest, the ones that are most effective. So there's the English variant that you may have heard about, the B117, which apparently spreads more easily, but is no more dangerous and is just susceptible to the vaccine. Not a big deal. But there's the South African variant. I believe it's South African is where they've discovered it. Now, this does not mean it's from South Africa. It could have come from somewhere else. Same thing with the English one, by the way. Everyone started closing their borders to England. The United States is not effectively tracking the genetics of the COVID strains we have because we have no effective national response. And so there's no coordinated effort to actually sequence the genes. to figure out what strains are where. This means that we could very well have some variant in the United States as well that we don't know about because we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. But here's the big deal, and here's why this is an issue. Oh, I was going to say, England, sorry, I distracted myself. What, squirrel? The issue with the one in England is that, so everyone's closing their borders to England because of this strain, when in fact there could very well be other strains that are just as bad in the United States or in other places that simply aren't checking. It's like here in Groton, Connecticut, where I live, our school department was very responsible and did a lead test, not for any particular reason, but just, hey, let's check these pipes, see if there's lead in the water. And they found some of the water fountains, some of the sinks did have lead contamination, and then they set about to fix it. And the other towns around don't have this testing. But I thought I was going to say contamination. They probably have the same contamination. They didn't test for it. But suddenly our school department takes all kinds of heat. Oh, you got lead in the water. It's not safe for the kids. Oh, it's so dangerous. How can you do this? How could you let this happen? No. They deserve credit for actually checking and finding out and then taking the flack for that and, spending the money and the resources to fix it. While the other towns they just didn't check in the first place. And if you don't know there's a problem, you don't fix the problem, right? That's how that works. So that's probably what happened with the English variant. Anyway, South African variant. The South African variant, its mutation affects its ability for antibodies to do their antibody thing. Well, what vaccines do is they trigger antibodies to attack a virus, which means that the South African variant, the vaccine may be less effective on this particular variant. Not ineffective, less effective. I don't know what the numbers might be 80%, so 95%. But what does this mean? The more this virus spreads, the more people who get it, the more it can mutate. The more it mutates, the better the chance that a vaccine-resistant strain will make its way around the world, which means we could all be vaccinated from the first strain, and now the second strain's out there, and it's going to be another year to get the new vaccine to the new strain. So all you people out there, and hopefully, I was going to say hopefully you're not watching. Maybe you're watching. I don't know. All those people out there who are irresponsible and spreading the virus may extend the pandemic by another year or more. This isn't about your personal liberty. This is about all of our liberty. We're not free to go back to our lives until this thing is under control. It can get under control with the vaccine. It can also get under control if you just follow the damn rules and stop acting like children. Australia, New Zealand got it under control because their populations understand science, believe in science, and followed the rules. I had the privilege of visiting a BNI chapter in Melbourne, Australia, when they were in the middle of their lockdown. The thing about their lockdown is they did it right. It was nationwide, and it was for a set period of time. I think it was 10 weeks was their lockdown. But they knew September 17th or 19th or whatever that date was when the lockdown would end if all went well. So in other words, if everyone behaves, then on September 20th, you can go out to a restaurant and you can do whatever you want. We didn't do that here. All right, forgetting the fact that our national leadership was in la-la land. Even our local leadership couldn't give us any clarity. They could impose clarity. So, for example, here in Connecticut, what the governor should have said as he started opening, when he went to phase 3, he should have said, if this number exceeds this level, phase 2. And if this number goes this level, phase 1. In other words, do the work, get the rewards. Do what you're supposed to do, get the benefits from that, and good things. And then people would say, when someone posts on Facebook the picture of them going out to the bar and all like, hey, having fun with my buddies, the comments would be, hey, jackass, you want to send us back to phase 2? Put your damn mask on. Instead of Lamont close the state. If the governor sets the rules and then enforces the rules, and then we discuss the rules, we're like, okay, those rules sound reasonable, and then something happens to trigger the rule, then it's not the governor shut the state. It's our irresponsibility triggered the rule that shut the state. We already talked about the rule before it was triggered. Sloppy leadership across the country. But now we know what we need to do. Even if you're still going out, even if you're doing this, that, and the other thing, if you wear a mask, social distance, don't travel, don't gather in large groups, it still stays under control. I go to karate there's about 25 people there. We wear masks. There's been no transmission in that dojo. We wear masks, we socially distance. We're all very careful, partly because we all know if anyone's exposed, they stay home. And we know that we are responsible for all of our fellow students in that dojo, and we take that responsibility seriously. We all have responsibility, and this isn't simply a matter of you might get infected, you might infect someone. You might aid the spread that causes the mutation that makes the vaccine not work. That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal. That makes 2020, as people are joking, 2021 is saying, hold my year. That makes 2020 was a year when we didn't see it coming and we were just reactive. 2021, we know what we're dealing with. As we come in, we know what's going on. We can respond to it. We can take action. And we know what we need to do. The question is anyone going to do it? Just checking to see if anyone's calling, because who knows how this phone works. No, doesn't look like anyone's calling. And again, you can also send me a message on Messenger if you're like, hey, I want to pipe in here. I got something to say. I got some comments to make. So that's what's going on with COVID. People may be so irresponsible that we lose the privilege of the vaccine. Wouldn't that be awesome? So, So there's two things that Trumpism and COVID are two places where it is our individual actions affect the whole. COVID, it's a matter of wearing your mask, staying separated. Stay off, unless it's an emergency, don't get on a plane. Don't get on a plane. Don't fly anywhere. You don't have to see your mom that bad. If you just wait, you'll see her later. If you fly now, you could kill her. Just wait. By summer, we should be able to do that again, unless we screw this up. And then with the fake news, with the spreading the fake information. I had a few people, because I don't like to unfriend people just because they disagree with me. I don't like to unfriend people because we have different opinions. After Wednesday, anyone who was sharing propaganda was no longer someone who disagreed with me. They were a traitor to my country. They supported seditionists who were trying to overthrow our government. That led to a couple unfriendings and blockings on their parts when I shared my opinions with them. But if you were sharing the Washington Times article, if you're saying no, you mainstream media brainwashed fool, look at the real news from Washington Times, which is probably run out of some guy's basement on his laptop, you're at least ignorant if you're sharing that. Possibly complicit. At best, you're stupid. At best, if you believe these conspiracies, you're a moron. You're an ignorant moron. All there's to it. I mean, if you're believing conspiracy theories, especially ridiculous conspiracy theories, let's talk about what it would take for Antifa to have been behind that. They would have to, because keep in mind, it wasn't just one. There were protests and some attacks across the country. So Antifa would have had to gather tens of thousands of crisis actors who were willing to risk their lives and their liberty, all the while, coordinate this ahead of time without anyone seeing it, and trick us, and this whole false flag process of making it look like Trump supporters were organizing it because they were organizing it in public. They would have had to do this without anyone leaking anything. Tens of thousands of people across the country. And if you've ever worked with left-wing radicals, they can't agree on what to eat for lunch, let alone, the biggest weakness the left has is this belief in personal personal freedom and the immense value of their personal opinion, there's no way you get 10,000 of them to stay quiet. Someone's going to be like, I think I need to share this with people. I need to share how proud I am of this. The level of complexity of this conspiracy involving tens of thousands of people to keep it quiet, make it organized, and to trick the president, to trick Trump into giving a speech ahead of time that would give them cover to make it look like it was legitimate, and then giving another speech afterwards telling the protesters that he loved them, is just beyond imagination. Like, the conspiracy doesn't even make sense. There's no possible way it could even conceivably make sense. Now, there are people who quite innocently supported Trump, and maybe, but for this insurrection thing, might still support him because they believe in what he says. Right? He's a populist, so he's all making America great. Maybe you think America's not great for one reason or another. That we certainly have some signs of ill greatness. And maybe you don't understand economics and you don't understand history, so you think the things he's saying are going to bring the greatness again. Cool. I get that. You're back on the wrong horse. The bus you're getting on is not going to the city you want to go to. But, okay, it doesn't make you a Nazi. But once the guy you're supporting sends his followers to attack the Capitol, this might be a time to rethink. Ironically, people on the left are on the extreme left, because there's the extreme right and the extreme left. I think I'm using the wrong arm for this. The extreme left, the extreme right. The people on the extreme left will publicly say they want to burn it down, destroy anarchists, defund the police. There's some on the left who legitimately want to get rid. Most defund the police means defund the police and reallocate to social workers and whatnot. There are some who just want to get rid of the police, have no police, tear it all down. Ironically, when the left was protesting in the streets, they weren't actually tearing it down. They weren't attacking the symbols of government. When the right took to the streets, they attacked the symbol of government. The biggest symbol of our democracy, they went straight for. Interesting. Radicals on both sides tend to be pretty scary. That's why you don't stir them up. There are people on both sides of the political spectrum who, given the opportunity, would destroy our country for one reason or another. That's why you don't give them an opportunity to do so. You don't gather them together in a rally and then say, go over there, take it over. That's the irresponsible thing. Right and left has radicals who would gladly destroy the country. No question about that. That doesn't reflect on their side. It reflects on the fact that there's extremists in all cases. And of course, America is a land of individualists. Everyone believes they should be able to do their own thing one way or the other, whatever that happens to me. Yeah. See, do I have any comments? No. I see people are watching. I'm saying inflammatory things. I expected someone to say something. Alas, I'm just talking to myself. It's fun though. So, and again, I came with this morning. I'm thinking, next week I'll try to prepare a little more. If you have topics you'd like me to talk about, I'll put my phone number back up there. See if anyone wants to call in. If you have topics you would like me to talk about, articles you want me to share and think about, anything like that, then by all means, send them, message to me, find me on Facebook, or comment on the YouTube. On the YouTube, yes. Send it to me on the Facebook or comment on the YouTube. Let me talk a little bit. I do sometimes talk about business. So let's talk about that. High ticket distraction. So I launched into my coaching business and really started focusing on things. Ooh, I've got a comment. Thanks, Robert. Someone said something. So I started my business in earnest in July. And coaching because once I'm sitting down with someone face to face, not that I'm saying no to anyone face to face these days, but once I got them on the phone or I'm on a Zoom call or whatnot with them, I can be very helpful. I can help them untangle challenges and figure out how to build a network, set up a marketing strategy, all those kinds of things. I didn't really have a product per se. I just kind of had, you pay me, we'll spend time together, and I'll help you untie your problems. And it actually worked pretty well. I signed up 10 clients in 10 weeks. Like, things were going good. But in the greater coaching and course creation culture, there is this push towards big ticket, high ticket sales. What are you going to sell for $10,000? How are you going to make $20,000 a month? I had a coach who I was considering working with, hiring, who asked me my goals. And I said, I need to make like $4,000, $5,000 a month. She said, that's not enough. You need to aim for at least $20,000 a month, because if you don't, you're going to burn out. And I said, what? How am I going to burn out? I love coaching people. It energizes me. It makes me feel good to coach people. She's like, no. You need something to fill your cup. And I'm like, yeah, helping people fills my cup. Filling my bank account doesn't fill my cup. Buying a new Tesla doesn't fill my cup. Talking to someone and having them tell me, hey, this conversation really helps me, that fills my cup. But I got distracted because I heard all I said, this is the way to do it. You got to create a high ticket course. You got to be able to make $20,000 a month. You got to be able to grow. I talked to another one, or not, didn't talk to them. I saw their webinar where they said they were stuck at $30,000 a month. And it was discouraging them. They weren't sure if they wanted to keep going because they were stuck at $30,000 a month. And then they did this magical thing, and then they were making $300,000. Like, cool. But I realized watching their webinar, that's not what I want to do. I mean, if you sent me a check for $300,000, I'd certainly deposit it. But it's a different business model to drive that. First off, it's inflating your prices above what is necessarily reasonable. That people will pay it if you advertise it well. But I found there's a lot of programs out there that are expensive, aren't that good, don't deliver results, but get you so fired up because the marketing around them is so good. And it's not a pyramid. It's more of an Ouroboros. It's eating its own tail, because the kind of people who buy the $10,000 courses are the kind of people who sell $10,000 courses. So it's kind of this like money chasing around in a circle. That's not really what I want, but it distracted me enough that I lost track of the focus of my business and started focusing on going big, 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 big. And part of me inside knew that wasn't authentic. That wasn't me. And so I lost the ability to sell. I lost the ability to get new clients. And so it went whoop. So it made me realize that I don't need to be focused on huge numbers. I need to be focused on what can help people. And what do I like doing? What you're watching right here is an overlap of those two things. I'm having fun doing this, and it might help people. Some people say that they find themselves to be informed and motivated and inspired by me speaking, and so I do it, and I hope it helps. I again would love your feedback and your comments on. And I don't think I can see comments in groups, but let me actually pop on over to Facebook. You can't see me going to Facebook, but I'm going to Facebook for a second to see if there's any comments that I can't see through StreamYard. StreamYard's a little funky like this. See, I have comments. Are they on this post? My computer's really slow. No, they're comments on something else, but they're cool. I'm glad they made them. No other comments in this video other than what I'm seeing here on StreamYard. StreamYard is good. I've heard about a platform that might be better than maybe switching over to soon. But in the meantime, StreamYard works pretty well and puts me out here, and a few of you seem to be watching. So here we are. Where was I? I don't know. I got distracted. That happens. Especially when I don't have people commenting and keep me on track. Now you distract me even more, wouldn't you? Anyway, I focused down to how can I help people and what do I like doing? So my motivational, it's time to bring up some banners. My motivational messages, which aren't, no, I don't banner for that. So if you go to motivation.guywhoknowsaguy.com, there it is. There it is. You can get my daily motivational messages in your email. I really enjoy doing them. I think they're fun. I actually listen to them myself. Yes, because I like the sound of my own voice. I know who's surprised by that. Nobody at all. So you can listen to those. I enjoy doing them, and they help people. I don't make any money off them. Somebody might at some point go to my Patreon and sign up and give me $5 a month. But basically, I don't make any money off them. I don't make any money off this. By the essays and whatnot. I'm trying to figure out a way to monetize the essays. Apparently, Medium has something. I found something called Vocal, which offers some supposedly lets you monetize writing, but it's so weird how it works, and you have to wait 2 days for things to get approved. But Medium, apparently I can get paid. So I don't know. I'm writing a lot. I was doing videos. No one's watching the videos, so I stopped doing that. Trying different things. But sometime around November, December, I said, I'm going to stop worrying about making money. I'm going to focus on what I can do that will fill my cup, as I say, and help others. In the meantime, how am I making my money? Well, I'm doing some Uber Eats driving, DoorDash driving, picking up gigs. I did some voice acting. Wasn't actually voice acting. I did an intro and outro for a podcast. Doing some other things. I am doing coaching, of course. That brings in some money as well. But I'm not laser focused on make the money, because when I was, that's not authentic to who I am. I am here because I want to help people. That's what fills my cup. So I stopped worrying about the money, found some other ways to just kind of go make that. And the cool thing about doing things like delivery driving is I can listen to audiobooks, and because I don't really have much occasion to drive otherwise. So I was listening to Simon Sinek's Start With Why while I was driving around. And it totally changed my thinking on how to share a message, because I kind of know what my why is. I'm zeroing in on it. But especially with the conference I'm running, that's Conference 21 here, which is going to be February 2021, I was focusing on the what. I was focusing on it's got 32 speakers, it's got networking events, it's this date, it's this many dollars. And people said, meh. And then I focused on the why. I'm not running it just to get to the other 32 speakers. I'm running it because I'm a community builder. That's why I opened Phoenix Games 20-something years ago. That's why I launch sci-fi conventions. That's why I network. That's why I connect people. That's why I do all these things. I like bringing people together. That's what Conference 21 is for. And then especially now, it's about bringing people together in a way that might turn them around. A lot of people had a tough year, and they need some kind of recovery. Stimulus is great, get a bit of money, but then the money runs out. My hope, my belief is that Conference 21 is going to be the beginning of the recovery for a lot of people. So I made an image that says the recovery begins on February 20th and 21st, because for some people, that may be the beginning of their own economic recovery. So now, why are so many of these people out there pushing this high ticket message? Because it serves their purposes. If my goal was $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 a month, and they say, well, I have got a course for you that can help you get up to $50,000 a month, and it's only $5,000. Would you pay $5,000 to make $50,000 a month? Of course you would. Sign up for the program. Would you pay $5,000 to make $5,000 a month? That's a little dicier. It's a little dicier. So they need to convince me to shoot for the stars, because then they can sell me their product. That's the realization I finally made. I don't need that. I can make $4,000 or $5,000 a month, be pretty comfortable. I make more, start putting away, investing, whatever. But I don't need to. So once I stopped focusing on the money, I got happier. Business got better. I started getting more clients. And, Conference 21 started really coming together, because people can feel when your energy shifts. They can feel when you're desperate. They can feel when you're hungry. They can feel when you're working from a position of weakness and fear. And they can feel when you're confident. They can feel when you're working in your greatness, when you're doing what you are meant to do. So this has been fun. I think I'm going to do it again next week. 1 o'clock on wherever you're watching this now. It'll be there again. So it'll be on YouTube. I'm going to email it out to my list again. I'll email it out ahead of time, so it won't be just that morning. But yeah, I think this will be a good time. And I'd love your feedback. Comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's things you'd like me to talk about. And also, if you'd like to be on the show, I'd be happy to have guests for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, the whole show, whatever. Come up with some topics and talk about it, because this is fun. Hopefully you had fun too. So my email is I don't need my email. I say I don't need it because I don't have it pre-typed in one of the banners. That's my website. It's got a contact form. You can also just comment. If you comment below, then I will certainly see it. And again, love to get your feedback of what you thought. If you watched it, if you got to the end, I see looks like 5 viewers getting all the way to the end there. So that's cool. I might have dozen of viewers. Yes, I'm fame-ish. Not even famous. Kyone Wolf first used the word famous. She's a producer and now show host on WNPR, our local NPR affiliate. And I had her as a guest at a convention that I ran. And she, and to me it was really exciting because I listened to her on NPR all the time. So to me, she's famous. She's like, I'm famish. Famish, not famous. Famish. Which I thought was a really cool concept. I'm not famous. I'm not even close, but we'll get there. So thanks for watching, for those of you who stuck around, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And if you're interested in being on the show, joining me, let me know. Love to have you on here. Have a good week. Stay safe.